What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Chicken Challenge. We are going to finish out year 6 here, December of year 6, and probably year 7 and 8. And let's do a little recap. We started with a $5 million line of credit. And with that line of credit, we bought this farmyard here. Well, this whole field we turned into our farmyard. It's not done yet. We're getting pretty close. We got this field here originally, and majority of the equipment that you do see down here was all purchased with the line of credit. Outside of the second harvester that we're flying into right here, we got that later on. But then flying way over here, we ended up having a field not very close to our farmyard, but that is our field out there, that one that is connected. So between this field out here and this huge one over here, we're getting around, I think it was 800,000, maybe 850,000 liters of barley. Not barley, sorry, sorghum. Every single year. So we set some goals with that in mind. We know we had to pay off the line of credit within 10 years. We also needed to get our net worth up to $10 million. We needed 10,000 chickens, and we needed to feed them for 12 months straight and have them at 100% health. So taking a look at our net worth mod here, we do have a net worth of $5.5 million at this point. So we've had 4 years to double our net worth to hit our last goal. We already have 15,000 chickens. We've had them fed for, multiple years at this point at 100%. We have 5,000 in there, 5,000 in here, and 5,000 in that one. And we need $250,000 per chicken coop there. Not dollars, sorry, feed to feed the chickens. So we're selling a little bit of eggs here. Prices were still good. I wanted to get a little bit of cash because I am tempted, and I think we're going to try and see what type of mulcher we can buy. And we're going to buy a roller. We're going to see, I think $210,000 here should be enough to help us and get through the whole year. The line of credit's paid off. That was our big expense. It was costing us around $70,000 to $80,000 a month just to pay the bill on that. And now that that is gone, we are kind of free to make some financial decisions on our own. And being that it's December, we're gonna, just take advantage of the good prices of eggs here. And I want to see if it's really worth doing it a little bit longer. Let's see what the prices are right now. They're starting to go down, so they're about $300 less than they were. So I think that's about where we'll leave it. But let's go ahead and take a look at mulchers to start with. And we're going to find out. We're going to see if it actually works with precision farming. I think with a field the size that we have, we'll probably see a nice bonus from that. 12 meters on this. Design 2 makes it 12 meters. I thought I added a mod. Maybe I didn't activate. Oh, here it is right here. Is this a mulcher? It's a weeder. Mulchers can be used. It says mulchers. So this is a mulcher weeder combo. And we can go up to 27, but we don't have enough horsepower for that. That's one thing I do want to take a look at. Let's grab the one with the least hours of our, well, they're pretty even. We did a good job evening that out. Let's see if how we can do, or how much of an upgrade we could do horsepower wise here. Now, the other thing I was thinking about was getting multiple seeders. So we're going to go repair for 11,000, but then we're going to come in here and customize. And if we went 400, yeah, let's spin that. We're going to customize that. We're going to get up to 418 horsepower now. And I think that means we can afford, or we can handle this one right here, which gives us 21 meters. It says it's mulching, function, tillage, mulcher, weeder. So we could adjust it, adjustable. It doesn't change the price. For $61,000. I think that seems pretty nice. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then also, before we lose our money, let's come in here. And I think the base game roller is going to be just fine for us. 27 meters width. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. Oh, we do not. We're just short. So for that, let's look at prices of sorghum right now. I think we'll go to Jackson's farm so we could save the cost on the train, since it's such a small difference there. Let's sell a load here. We can afford to get away with selling a little bit of this sorghum. I just wanted to kind of save it to make decisions like this in the future. So we do need operating costs too, but we can sell things early if we need to just to get by. But having no bills, this will be nice. Let's go ahead and purchase that. We do know we want the roller. We're gonna go ahead and buy that. Now we have 23,000 right now, because that brought in about $36,000. So I think I'm pretty confident that we have enough operational costs now to get by. What do we have liters? We need, I believe we're gonna need to hold on to 150,000 liters here. I just don't know if we have enough to be able to afford another planter, which would be nice to speed us up. But it's almost like, well, we have that to where it could be a weeder as well, so we could technically double up on weeding now. And if we went with the same planter that we already have, that would be $250,000. I'm going to drive into the ditch and then crunch some numbers to see if we could pull this off and if it's even worth trying. We would be short. I'm going to hold on to that feed to see if it can help us next time. So, but that'll be fine. Like, we can get through year 7 and then we can buy a lot of, we can buy some upgrades if we really want to. We're going to go ahead and just park this. We're going to go pick that up and we're going to see how that mulcher is going to function. So this, now how are we going to know the difference here? We have a 380 and a 400. Really? Is this one, what's the difference? Let's go in here. I want to see. This one, wow. Oh, I was looking at repaint. We're going to repair it. And this one's already at 4. Oh, this one's a 435. So we did upgrade this bad boy already. Okay. Well, let's go grab, let's hop into this one, shut it off. I mean, the extra horsepower is not going to hurt us on the 380 there. But let's go ahead and head in. We have plenty of horsepower. We know this will be best for the mulcher. We're going to grab that, test it out, even though it's December. And I think I might just get all the fields prepped here. Just kind of slow roll that and slowly replenish the feed of the chickens and move their eggs around instead of rushing and only doing it in certain months. We were doing March and April, which we'd still have plenty of time to do. Let's get some fuel right now too. Dang, that thing's huge. Let's go to the smaller field first. Give it a shot there. All right, let's see how it works. And let's go double check over here. That's the mulch state. Let's drive a little bit farther and make sure, because that almost looks like, I mean, maybe that is the mulch state. Let's go into the map now. The whole thing's mulched already. What is, makes 0 sense to me. Needs rolled. Is this pointless then, bonus wise, if harvesting gives us a mulch state for whatever reason? I'm confused, guys. Were we already getting that bonus? Why would mulching, why would you get a mulch bonus from harvesting? I think we're gonna go with it. It's definitely gonna help with the weeding. Like, it's 12 miles an hour, which is faster than our current weeder. Not 100% sure what to do here when it comes to the precision farming score. I mean, I'm just beyond confused. I think what I want to do, how much would it give us back to sell the weeder? Because this one going 12 is just magnificent. So here's our existing weeder. We'll get $25,000. We are going to, well, let's go ahead and repair it first. See if we can get a little bit more cash for that. Because with that extra width and the speed that we can do, that's a huge upgrade. This one can only go 7 miles an hour and the width is less. It's like half. So you get more than 100% increase on that. And when it comes to time spent on the field, or more than 100% decrease, you know what I'm trying to say. If it takes an hour, it's going to take us 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes instead. So let's go ahead and see about this. Small repair fee. Well, the value right now is $27.85. It's going to, I don't know if that actually did enough for us, but that gives us to 77,000. Beyond confused, guys. I don't understand why the field's mulched already. Just kind of thinking while I'm loading all of these up, I don't think we're going to actually increase the yield enough with just rolling. So we'll see. We're going to go through 1 year and find out. So yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to actually increase it enough, but if it doesn't, then year 8, at the beginning of year 8, after we finish year 7 here, we will probably buy more land so we can get an extra 5,000 chickens for the last 2 years or 3 years, whatever that is. Just getting to March here, we have 174 pallets in here already. Let's take a look at time-saving stock check, which shows we almost have $1 million, almost $750,000 worth of eggs right now. You can see 9,000 of sorghum, so we should be good with that. So next stop is to pick up about, well, we'll start with 40,000 liters of lime, bring it back. Super impressed that we're gonna have enough horsepower to pull that roller. I don't think I've used the biggest one yet. We used the one size lower on Cattle Ranch. Fascinating. 3,000 in here, which should be enough because I think it's like 41,000 that we need for the big field, so we should be set. And having the time move by a little quicker because I'm trying to get the rain gone, because who wants to apply lime in the rain? And here we are, putting lime down. And it shouldn't be, you know, there's going to be spots that just don't need lime at all, it seems. So there's a couple spots there, but we're only putting, you know, 1.75 tons per hectare right in this spot. Let's see what this, the soil type does change here. Down to, wow, there's a little speck of 0.88. So yeah, big field. So we should only have to fill this up once today. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to lease a planter so that we can get the planting done twice as fast. Random thoughts come to mind. The reason our environmental score isn't as high as it could be is because we're not using the See and Spray. So if we did end up upgrading to that would increase our environmental score, give us even more of a bonus when we sell everything. We're making a ridiculous amount of money off of just environmental score already. If we look at finances, I don't think, yeah, we can still see it here. We spent so much money, so we can't. But the little bit of money we made in December, you can see 24,000 was environmental score. I think it was a couple 100,000 last episode that we saw at the very end, so pretty awesome. But you can see here, everything to the left is what we have, you know, besides the headland over there, left to spread, and we still have 4,000 liters. So we're going to top off right now and finish the field, but just kind of giving you guys an idea of how far we can go off of an entire spreader worth. We haven't been showing a lot of that in the video. I don't think it's ever too early to start looking at the retrospective of this series. I think the 5 million line of credit was too much to start with. We kind of knew that at the beginning, and I've said multiple times throughout this playthrough that we're building a baseline here, and the field size definitely helped. But I think the next challenge that we do, we're going to start smaller and have to show progression throughout the years. I think that's the missing thing in this series is, you know, starting with the big equipment was fun, and I wanted to do a series where I had just massive equipment compared to majority of my series. I don't ever get to really have large tractors and semis and the biggest harvester like we have. So it's been beyond enjoyable for me, and that's why I'm jumping back into this series before Cattle Ranch right now. Yeah, just retrospective, we'll start a little bit slower. I think we're gonna probably start using the normal mode instead of the sandbox mode of the line of credit. So we'll have to earn money to then earn the ability to take out the line of credit. And there's a couple ways around that I'm thinking to make it interesting. But yeah, looking forward to some really cool challenges that I'm trying to come up with and mix things up so they're not always the same. But this one's fun. This one's really kind of just pushing the limits to see, really making the muscle memory of doing these long playthroughs. Well, long for me, and making them entertaining for you guys. We are super close to being done with this lime, and we're gonna have just about 3,000 left like we assumed. And I think I am gonna do the other field today. Since we're gonna lease that the planter, it would make sense to take care of the lime today. We don't have a third tractor, so we're gonna have both tractors planting. That means that there won't be a tractor available to do the lime on the other field. So I think it'll still be quicker. It'll definitely feel better, and I think this is the natural progression of the farm right now. And maybe, you know, doubling up on all of our implements is what we'll do for the last 4 years here. And we're gonna have money to spend, so we're gonna figure out how. I'm gonna go straight to the store. I am going to buy. We're gonna do 22,000 liters. All right, applying some lime. 1.75 tons per hectare, just like the other field. Should be pretty similar the whole way. It's just a little bit smaller of a field. I think it might be a longer field. Did we ever figure that out? Let's look again. I think the longest, it might be about the same. It's hard to tell, but hopefully this is enough. If not, we'll get the flatbed over here to give us a little bit more lime. But we're gonna get real quick into that planting session, get that other planter leased, and see how quickly, if that even feels worth it to me. It appears we will have enough lime. We're doing the last pass here, and that's good to know. I don't know what those totals were adding up to. They don't make sense to me. I guess part of it was the initial lime that we put down when we re-enabled precision farming, so that number is accelerated or fluctuated a little higher than it should be. I'm sure I calculated it. My brain's just not comprehending, and I don't think I wrote it down. So looking at my notes, I don't see anything about lime, but looking good. So we're going to get quickly to April here and get that planter leased and try out double planting. I love it. Multiple tool planting, I guess I should say. Kind of wondering if we are going to need another storage unit this time around. I don't remember when we filled up with it and when the limit hit. So it'll be interesting to get through this year and see if we do need to spend or sell a little bit of eggs so we can get that, because we don't have funds for that right now. And we have no ability. Once we close that line of credit, we can't take it back out. That is my rule. So we're kind of on our own here. We have to, you know, sell our goods if we want to buy anything after we run out of money. So, but I think it'll be fine. Worst case, I'll just sell a little bit of eggs. And I don't think all of these are going to fit. We're going to see how much do, but I think we are going to run into our limit here once we put these in. Maybe not. Oh, how much more can we fit? Oh, we might be fine. We might be fine. All right, we got this one ready. Let's grab the other tractor. Let's head into the store. We're going to buy, I think we're going to buy 2 pallets of seed. And we're going to use the fertilizer we have right now at home. There should be, well, there might not be enough. I'll buy a little bit of liquid fertilizer as well. And leasing the planter, 2,100 seeds and 4,000 liquid fertilizer for now. And actually, while we're getting prepped here, let's go ahead so this one can get a head start. But we do need to set up a course since we're doing 2 of them. 2 machines, 1 headland each, and we will do ups and downs for that configuration. We'll go ahead and generate it and let them get started. Then we're going to come in here, field 20. We're going to save this as planting. So away they go. Now we can finish getting this prepped, and yeah, this is where a 3rd tractor would be nice. So that's something I'm going to keep in mind between now and when we make money in December, or when we spend money in probably November. When we make most of our money is October. You know what I mean. We'll get there. And we might buy another tractor because it would be nice to be able to just start doing the weeding right behind them or the rolling. So it'll be interesting to see how close we get to 10 million after these 2 years. And remember, buying equipment, if we buy it, counts towards our net worth, the value of the equipment. So that is something to keep in mind, because it's just because we buy something doesn't mean we lose the money. Leasing, that money's just gone. Yeah, and having the 3rd tractor would absolutely speed this up, if not a 4th. But it'll be interesting to see what time we get done in April with all 3 processes, planting on both fields, weeding both fields, and rolling both fields. And it's just 33 minutes left on the first one. Not bad, but we will, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll get the flatbed going to move some fertilizer around and get everything situated for them. But we should be able to just come in here and go planting, load course, come over here, and we'll set this to right, first waypoint, and let them go. And looking good. And we'll see if they run into each other. I've never done double planting like this with courseplay with two planters, so this is new to me. Yeah, 3rd tractor would be sweet. Yeah, still a little bit of overlap. Seems like the auto width isn't really working really good right now. 18 meters does show. Yeah, I don't understand. Seems like courseplay is not setting these up correctly. They're going to clip each other when they're doing ups and downs. So we might, I think I'm going to adjust this. We're going to switch this, and it shouldn't affect it. We'll do 2 headlands. Let's go ahead and clear the course, and we'll do 1 tool, 2 headlands. Go ahead and generate, and we'll let them take off on that. And then we're going to grab this one, and we're going to go to the other field. I think this will be a good way to do it. It'll also allow me to be able to just do the planting here and get it done quicker than the worker will, and be able to get to weeding and rolling faster. And I think we're going to do, I was just debating what is first. I think we're going to go with rolling first, because that has to be done the month that we plant, where the weeding can go into the next month. So keeping an eye on the planter on the bottom here, I can see they have 67% of fertilizer left. So once that gets low, I'll hop over there, help them get refilled, and then get back over here and finish planting. So 1 hour and 8 minutes for them to do that entire field. Shouldn't be too bad. We're cruising along. We got well ahead of the other one when it came to the fertilizer. So we're going to be able to take a break here, fill up the other one, come back, fill this one up, get done, get quickly into rolling on the other field. I do like this process, guys. I love it. What would be really ideal is if we got rolling done on this field, started rolling on the second field before they're even done planting. When they're done planting on that field, get the weeding going here and vice versa. That's the ideal timing that I'm looking at here. Weeding's gonna be super quick over here. It should be, but we will turn around. This will be a good opportunity to refill. All right, this is crazy. I've never used these. Let's get this all configured and unfolded. That doesn't seem right. That headland does not seem right. What is going on here? 28, yeah, I guess it might be. We'll get the little bit that we missed on the way back. Was it 9 miles an hour? That's still not bad, but we do see they're at 35% fertilizer on the other field, still 35 minutes to go. So we should be able to rock and roll and get close to getting this done before having to top them off. But we'll see. One thing I did want to see is if we do see 125, we do. So we do have full yield there. You can see at the bottom right, 125% expected, 125% potential. So we did not need to do mulching for whatever reason. Maybe that's my misunderstanding with the way the game works. I just got a comment too. I can't believe I've been saying this wrong. This is a chicken fattening, not a flattening. Goofball. I thought it was flat because there's like a bunch of stacks of chickens that are real skinny, so they're flattened down. I don't know. I guess they're fattening them so we can eat them as meat instead of just producing eggs. I don't know a lot about chickens, to be honest. Well, we're jumping way ahead here. We're cruising along. We're getting the weeding done in field 24 and 26 here. We have 12 minutes to go on rolling on field 20. Very exciting stuff, guys. Driving around for half an hour. You guys aren't missing much, but I'm making good time. 1500 right now, 3 o'clock. So just got one pass to the left to do, and then we'll get over to the other field. It looks like I will get there before the rolling's done, which is what I was trying to do. I was hoping to get there a lot sooner to where we had potential to finish almost at the same time, but that didn't happen. Tracking good though. We'll get to those harvests pretty quick here. We're gonna move a lot faster through these videos the rest of the way. And we are arriving home and we can see they do have about 5.5 minutes to go. So we did get here before they got done. We're gonna go to the far end of the field, get the weeding set up, and it looks good, but if we hop out here, we can see we have 89% expected yield in this area and potential. So that means we're at full capacity, the best yield we can get possible on this field. Just got to get the weeds taken care of so we can see that potential actually get hit. And they are started with the weeding. We'll get to that harvest in about an hour. All right, it's an August morning. We have a bit of lag, and I think I figured out why. I think it's when I have all of the 6 vehicles all set up on auto drive and course play. It seems to be when we start to see the frame rate start dropping, specifically over here. But anyways, I digress. We're going to take a look at our update right now. We do have a net worth of $6.4 million. The stock is finally working. That number should be really close to this 1.5 million as we come back over here. It's pretty similar. Again, it's off a little bit. We're doing it a little bit of a different calculation than time saving stock check does, but we do have the goods from the pallet storage added in here. So 6.4 is where we're at right now. Getting there. We did not adjust this to 6 meters. I'm just gonna let this roll. We're gonna end up getting this cart running. Should be able to find its way. So that will be working with the second harvester, and we're gonna run with this one most of the way. And that seems to be the best way to get this done. The headlands are gonna be rough no matter what. And so me doing it by myself definitely helps speed up. So we got an hour and 15 minutes left on this one, hour and 20 on the one behind us. And as long as I keep this moving and minimize how often it stops, it should only take that hour and 15 minutes. But my guess it'll be closer to an hour and a half. Way better than the 2.5, 3 hours it was taking before. Like I said a lot last episode, we're gonna keep on progressing and full yield now. So we'll see where that amount gets at the end. We have nothing in the silo right now. Everything is in the fattenings. And we almost ran out actually. We got about, I think, 9,000 left. So we're gonna have to get those filled before we get to September. There is a early morning, or late morning, I guess, rainstorm coming in about 9 to 10 o'clock, so we'll have to skip and lose those couple hours there, but try to get as much of this done before that, and try to see if we can get a full calculation in the silo before we head on in to start filling up those fattenings. But if they run out of feed, we're gonna have to change course there. So keeping an eye on that. We got 30,000 liters already. Gonna start dumping this into the semis and have them do their job. Progressing real nice still, guys. I'll see you at the end of the harvest. All right, we got a decent amount of this field done. I wanted to kind of take a look. 124 is the percentage right here, and I think if we hop over the header here and try not to die, we can see 125 is the goal. So it's just saying 124, which is interesting. Over here is showing 99% yield bonus. Let's see what it says in front. 125. So that should change. So it looks like we're getting super close to the 124 or 125 number. So it should be bringing in about 1 to 2% more on this yield. Pretty exciting stuff. So I did want to give that update there. So we'll see how close we get to 1 million. I don't think we're gonna get to 1 million liters, but it'll be close. We'll find out though in a couple hours. Decided to take a look at it this way. You can actually see the difference in the yield. So we're definitely getting a lot more in the 125 area, but they fall within the same gap, right? They're 5. I'm guessing that this is showing like 121 to 125, and this is 116 to 120, but you can see the difference on the chart. That's the point there. Lovely. Rolling seemed to be worth it. Yeah, and just kind of recap, we are at $9,000. We did repair both harvesters, filled them up with fuel. That's why we're at $9,000. So the yield shouldn't have been affected by that. I guess I'm just a little disappointed in the increase. It doesn't seem like a full 2% to me, but maybe it is. All right, and finally done with the harvest. We're gonna get everything into the silo and see if those numbers match. I don't believe they do. So I think that's the disconnect. I don't think the number that this shows on the map here, where it shows, well, that was a little fast, sorry guys. Shows 560,000 liters. I don't think that's what we're gonna have in the silo. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but that's not the increase we expected. Not even close. There we go. Not bad. And now this one we can send on to the next field. We got to get that harvester over here too, over there too. But I do want to take a look at those numbers before I worry about that. Okay. That is all in there. We have 560, 618, and this thing says 560, 636. So it's a little bit off, but like I said, that's definitely not the yield increase we were looking for. Not enough. This is not, I don't believe that's 2% increase. Maybe it was 2%, and I'm just thinking 2% is more than it is. So like 500,000, 2% of 500,000 is only like 10,000. So it was, I don't know, guys. It doesn't seem worth it. I am disappointed in that, but we'll keep going. Definitely not gonna get 1 million this harvest. We'll get like 850, I think. And we're officially started on the last harvest of year 7. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, it is September. Let's take a look at the numbers from the other field. So kind of hard to tell, but we're gonna go in this way. We did get 147,000 from the bottom field, number 26, and number 24, we got 150. So just under 300,000 there. Over here, we got our 560. So we got around 860,000. We need another field. If we're gonna get 20,000 chickens, which is what I'm kind of aiming for at this point, net worth I'm not even paying attention to right now. We need another field. So we're gonna get through, we're gonna get to the point where it's time to sell the eggs and rejoin you. You know the song and dance at this point. Well, while the time's going, I didn't even really show you guys because I was being a doofus, but we have 240,000 liters. So it's not, uh-oh. Stop. We just lost a bunch of eggs. Why don't we, come on game, we need to get a warning. We need to get a warning, at least a warning when you can't spawn pallets. We just lost a ton of money because of that. Let's see if we can we can load in. All right, this is where we started that segment. I don't know if we hit our max yet, but this is as far back as we're gonna go. How are prices right now? Prices are decent. We're gonna sell, I don't wanna sell them all. We're gonna sneak up to the sales location and we're gonna just get enough to get another pallet storage. I was tempted to add the more pallets mod, but I think for the sake of the challenge, we don't add mods like in year 7 that change the way the game functions. I think that makes sense. Like adding implements is one thing and productions is another thing, but adding actual like more spawnable pallets seems a little cheaty at this point. I don't mind using it if we start with it, just kind of, I don't know. I think that makes sense. All right, that's almost enough. That should be enough. We're gonna just, they're strapped in so they shouldn't sell, right? All right, let's go home. We'll go home. We'll put another one of those pallet locations down and store a bunch of them. And it's really only gonna be half a month worth that we need. This thing looks like a mess though. Well, disaster avoided. Just cruising around picking up pallets, and we have maintenance is only like $1,200. So we're gonna be able to get to that tip top price like we did in year 6 here. It's so nice not having debt. Man, I've missed it. So right now we're at 3,700. We're trying to get this to around 4,300. Just, it might not be till November, but we're on our way. We're getting there. $372 as we click into November, and it's still going up. So we're keeping an eye on it. I'm checking it really often at this point, and learn from my mistakes of the maze challenge. Try not to show me going click, 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 because we used to do that a lot with the menu. But I think it's going to be closer to daylight if I'm remembering. Should write it down this time. And it tricks you because it says it's going down, but it's going up still. We got the supermarket at the top here. Interesting. We're going to let it go a little bit longer and see. Supermarket's on its way down, but what is the bakery? Is it on its way down too? Yeah, let's slow down time now. Supermarket. All right, I guess we're gonna sell to a different place. Gonna get a full load. We're gonna start heading in. It's a little farther away than the other one was, but not terrible. All right, let's see how high this dollar amount gets in year 7. Nice to see a different sales location. We're gonna have to sneak behind the bank here. Boy, 3.26 million. Let's start the finance tab here. We've made almost 2.9 million plus $368,000 just from the environmental score bonus, making $3.2 million this month. Jumping our net worth all the way to 8.4 million. We're gonna hit it this video, guys. What we're gonna do now, we're not gonna sell the excess eggs this time around when the prices are not at their peak like we've been doing in December. We're just gonna we'll get to the end of the year, probably actually get to January, and then we're gonna look at our net worth at the the actual end of the year here, at the end of year 7, and make the decisions for year 8. I've been trying to figure out why things look so similar all the time around here. We've had fixed visual month on, so we got that finally fixed. It is the beginning of year 8. It does say year 7 on there, but we are definitely in year 8 now, and I want to do a little recap and start a new tradition for the last couple years here of spending a lot of money in January. So a quick recap here. We can go into our net worth and see we're at 8.6 million right now. If we look at time saving stock check, we have about $500,000 worth of eggs already, over 124,000 eggs in our possession. A decent amount of sorghum. If we look at the chickens, you can see they do need somewhat topped off, maybe a couple more trailer, actually just one more grain trailer in each of them should get us to the harvest in August and September. But let's take a look at the map here. We talked about a while ago, I do want to buy these 2 fields, so we're gonna start a little spending spree right now. We will reconfigure our multi-tool over here, our mulcher, tillage tool, and weeder to help us take care of the tillage over there. This guy, yeah, we'll probably still use it. I'm not happy with the results from it. I guess I was thinking 10%, not 1%. I was being silly, messed up my own brain there. But let's keep going. So we do have a decent amount of equipment right now. So, I mean, I'm not completely 100% sure we should, have to do anything else, but we're gonna go ahead and buy this. we are gonna buy the quad track. We're gonna do the 470. It's gonna have 524,000 horsepower. Absolutely want this beast. And I think we're gonna pause momentarily for that. I want to get those fields combined. I want to get an idea of how large they feel. I'm almost wondering if those two fields are going to get us to 25,000 chickens and not just 20,000 chickens. So we're kind of close to being able to hit the 25 or the 20 number already. We just need 5,000 more. One thing that I was going to add to the series, and I've decided not to after crunching some numbers, we're not going to add the slaughterhouse. I went through and was looking at it would have been like 48 chickens a month would be the most we could butcher, and it would have taken 60 months to break even from buying the slaughterhouse. Now that sounds terrible and it sounds like a mod you wouldn't want to use, but it was one of those things where if we did beef, we're going to profit a lot more. If we did pigs, we'd profit a lot more. And I think sheep, do we have? I don't remember what the other animal you could put in there is, but being that we have chickens and chickens do not, produce a ton of meat, we're not going to get a ton of money off of that without extremely modifying that production. And I felt at this point, it really didn't make sense to just manually change a production to make a ton of money on this challenge. So kind of was going back and forth with that. It would have fit really nice in the design of the farmyard here. I was kind of hoping we could have like a slaughterhouse per 2 chicken fattenings. All right, let's go in here. I am going to set this to adjustable and see if we can figure out how to get that to work. If we should just see something here that shows us the work mode. I don't, so we're just going to make it a tillage right now. We'll remember to come back and change it for weeding. But let's head over. This should be really quick to blend these fields. There is that center area, and we're going to have to extremely change our auto drive configuration over there, but it comes with the state of things. 2.1 million, we're going to keep that around, and we're going to have the ability to buy things when we need it. We'll probably start adding a few sheds here and there so we can get the rest of our equipment in cover. And then the other thing that I've really been eyeing is, and I talked about this in the first episode, is some of the lime silo and maybe a fertilizer and seed silos or little containers, whatever they're called, to be able to just buy that at the farm, so we don't have to go to the dealership all the time. We can just buy it in bulk and load things a lot quicker, just do our jobs a lot quicker. And that's what the next 3 years is going to be about. I want to really be able to do things as fast as possible. I was looking at some planters, and once I get over to the field and start blending them, I think we'll take a look at that and why we're not going to make that decision. All right, before we get started, let's close the loop on that. So if we go in to planters, the biggest one I could find was this early riser by Case IH here. It is 27 meters, but it only goes 8 miles an hour. Our current planter is 18.2 meters and it goes 11 miles an hour. So I don't feel like it's that much of a gain when we have to go slower. Maybe I'm being silly there. Maybe it is that much of a gain, and it's definitely something that I'm kind of learning about myself here. Let's see what state this field's in. Is that I usually use speed override, and not using speed override for this series is definitely changing the way I think about some things. All right, so that's going to create seed bed. Is that going to actually ruin our mulch state when we get over to this field? I don't think it will, but what we're going to do is I am going to enable fields right now. So once we're not going to let go of course play or auto drive here. We're going to let our steering assist, excuse me. We're just going to drive straight, and we're going to blend it into the other field and see how that does it. And it's actually cleaning up the edges of this field as well to match what the steering assist does, which is kind of nice. So we'll see how this blends, if these fields are, they're not completely lined up. So I think what I'm going to do is do it the other way around. So let's turn back this way. We'll get locked in here. And I might have wanted to finish that entire pass. We might want to come back and do that. But now we're going to extend this field a little bit farther to the right here. Give us a little bit more plantable area. And then we'll figure out the best route on the bottom for that as well. And then after we get done with this, we'll buy the soil samples and make sure we got that completely covered. And right there should be good. Let's go ahead and stop and look. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good turn. And I don't think there's any need to do all of these fields. Lock back into place here. We'll go ahead and lower it. Might as well. We'll just drive around a little bit. Change the ground texture just a hair. And just because I'm curious. Oh, we're not going to know it yet until we buy it. So yeah, we'll get all of this in here. We'll show the top, but all of this is pretty basic how we're going to blend it. We'll show how we blend up down here at the bottom, and then I'll finish it up by myself. But I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe every time you get a field, you should do this with the fields allowed so that it is perfect with guided steering moving forward. This one looks like it'll be good to just hold on to and blend, but we'll get to the top of the field or the bottom of the field. I guess that is the south in a moment. All right, this one we're going to probably have to do on our own just because of the angle here. So let's get, you know, let go of steering assist and just kind of drive straight here at a 114.5 degree angle and blend together the two fields, or the four fields really. So I think I am going to completely get rid of this barley that's in here, even though it's a crop we could harvest. I think we'll have better luck if we just do this whole thing in one go here. Probably could have done the whole center by myself there, but all right, I'm gonna get this done, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. To make sure that all of these fields are in the exact same state, I am gonna do tillage on the whole thing, but let's get the soil samples purchased. Come up here, we gotta go into the right thing, purchase this one. Okay, we gotta purchase all of them, so we are gonna spend a little bit of extra cash here just to get the middles to blend. No worries there, and that's a decent looking field. So these two, I think this one's bigger now. So we should get, I don't know, we're gonna definitely have our first ever million liter harvest. Absolutely. Well, hello, you can see we have a lime station. We're starting to get prepped for planting here in April. We got all the lime done in, actually it was January. I just kind of had a little bit of time where I enjoyed just playing all by myself with the camera off, guys. It was pretty marvelous. So we got the lime done. We could probably take a look at the statistics for that. I think we have enough seed here to get started. I'm gonna get this started. We're gonna really quickly get all three tractors on this field. I think that's gonna be the fastest way. We're gonna start here close to home, and then we'll go farther from home after that. And I think this rainstorm is going to clear up soon, but I don't have time to wait for that. We've got to get started. 2 headlands with the planter, and away they go. We're going to go ahead and give that a little bit of time, and I do need to head to the store. We're going to need more seed today. We're going to also need more liquid fertilizer, and I was debating getting something for liquid fertilizer, just like the lime station here. But then we'd have to get something to deliver it to the field, and if they're not in pallets, we'd need another trailer. One for liquid, and then also lime's already going to be an issue with that going back and forth, so that's something we'll have to think about. So while we let that get a head start before we get the weeding started, we're going to get some liquid fertilizer and seed, like I mentioned. Oh, look at the used market. We don't ever look there, man. Too bad we don't need that. That would require us to cultivate. Let's go ahead here. We'll go with, we have money, so I'm not going to be as gentle with buying as I have been. And then we're gonna go with seeds. We'll grab 3 of these. I don't know how much we're gonna use on the new field, but it'll be nice to have all that in inventory. We'll probably need a little bit more fertilizer unless we get lucky with the new field, like we did with the last time we bought a field where it was already in a good state fertilization-wise. So that is a possibility. I haven't taken a look at that part of the data yet. But we'll get, you know, all of 3 of these tractors on the field at the same time. All right, so we'll have the semi all prepped with all of these goods to just head on over to the planter when the time comes. They've already burned through 10% of their fertilizer, so we know that's going to be pretty quick, but we do want them to get back here before we start the weeding. But I do need to reconfigure that because I wasn't brave enough to try the adjustable setting. So let's find, yeah, this is the one I wanted, the Magnum 400, and we'll grab the weeder and make sure it's reconfigured. And then with the 380, we'll get the rolling going right behind the weeding. And I need to take a look at the widths of those to see which order we should. Like, do we need to do 2 headlands with a weeding? Because if that's the case, then we need to do 4 headlands with planting to be able to do this at the same time. All right, this is all reconfigured. And just to remind ourselves that we do have 27 meters on the roller, 21 meters on the weeder, and the planter is 18, so it is more. 2 headlands will be plenty for rolling. Okay, so I do think I want to do it this way. Once they get started on that second headland, I'll probably get the weeding going, and then we probably can go pretty quickly on the rolling, and I'll probably do the rolling myself. So let's see where we're at here. 11 miles an hour. We're getting there. We are getting there. The reason why I want to give it so much extra time is we're not, or we're gonna have to stop, and we're like 87% already. You know, we're gonna have to fill that up multiple times in between now and starting the weeding. So that means we need even more of a head start. So I think once they get about halfway on this next pass, we'll let them get going. All right, and there goes the weeder. It says 53 minutes. So, I mean, it'll be close. We probably will catch up and have to maybe slow down the speed that thing does. But I believe this one's width is not as wide and speed is slower. So we should be good. Love this thing, man. Maybe it's bigger. It is bigger. That might be a problem. We're going 9. They're going 11. So they're just gonna keep pulling away, so it should be fine. Look at that. In the rain. Nothing like 3 tractors doing the job, getting the field prepped for what's gonna be the first ever 1,000,000-liter sorghum harvest on the Farming Sim SWU channel. 12:15, we're finally heading over to the second field here. We've got this all prepped and filled up. We have 4.5 minutes left on the weeding. Probably about 8 minutes left on the rolling, and we'll be able to get on over to the other field. The timing seems to be pretty good with the way we set that up. I do think that was probably the best course of action there. Oh boy. My guess is it's going to be an hour and 20 minutes to plant. I hope it's under an hour, but I think it's going to be an hour and 20. And probably a 2-hour. Even with the 2 combines, I bet it's going to be about a 2-hour harvest too. It's going to be worth it though. We're going to get well over 1,000,000 liters. That's the goal. If we don't, it's a bust. About to see the hour 20. Okay. Yeah, I was about right. But let's get back on over here, make a little bit more progress with the rolling. You can see what we have left, and they are doing their last pass of weeding. So we'll get them over to do the weeding pretty quickly. And the timing should work out pretty nice. By the time we get them over there, we'll see. We might have to delay a little bit, but we should be able to get started, and then vice versa. Or also, with the rolling, once I finish the rolling here, I should be able to just head straight over to that field and get started. A little more than an hour and 20 minutes to go in prepping for harvest, and then it's time to, you know, move a bunch of eggs around, get ready for that harvest, and probably do this field first, not feature it too much in the video, but we'll feature the new big field a little bit more. Yeah, moving fast. Year 8. We're like halfway done with year 8 almost. We are over here waiting for the weeder to be ready to start. We definitely need to get the 2 headlands done and start the ups and downs. So we did get here a little early. Not too terrible though. They have used 25% of their fertilizer. So that tells me this field's a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. I guess while I wait for that, I could potentially get this completely done. Looks like we have 2 more passes here. Maybe a tiny one after that. It's 1 o'clock. I'm wondering if we'll get the rolling done before sunset. Alrighty, we've got the roller and weeder over there prepped, ready to go. Still getting the head start on the planting. We're gonna need, I think, 6,000 to 8,000 more liters. We're in year 8, so buying some materials that we don't necessarily need right away is probably the best time to do that. You know, if this was year 10, we'd be a little scarier with that. But I mean, our net worth is going to be well above 10 million when we get there. But Let's get 8,000 to be safe. And that will cost us about 1280. And they're at 30% right now. So we'll get them topped up before we start with the weeding like we did last time. And we're probably gonna just miss them finishing the second headland by the time we get there. Pretty good timing here. We're gonna let them finish this and then I'll have them get started on that next pass instead of doing what we did last time, and then we'll interrupt them. Some of this place already says 89 out of 89%. I think we're getting like half a percentage increase by you doing the rolling. This might be the last year we do it. 0.2 tons per hectare improvement. I don't know, guys. Are we just wasting diesel? I don't know. All right, try to sneak over here, top them off. Should give them a good runway. Let's go. We want to turn this way. Just jackknife it over there. Come on. There we go. That was seed. Got to get so close for fertilizer. And they're back at it with an hour and 4 minutes to go. Can get the semi out of the way now. Back into the harvest field here. That's what the family was called in farm rescue that lived in that farm, the harvest family. I think what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to set their cruise control to 8s. We're going to go ahead and let them get started. And then this one we're going to set to like 6. That way we can just move. I feel like we get stuff done more by when we're moving than when we're just being stagnant. About a 2-minute difference right now in their timing, but controlling their speed. Let's see if it's respecting it. Yeah, let's go. We'll go 7 until they get a little bit of a head start, and then I'll hop over here and move them back. Same with this one. And that extra width might be a problem, but they are turning around right now. I think we'll be okay. It's going to feel like a drag for a little bit for me, but it'll be all right. Oh, that's the snow, I was going to call it. The lime really makes this a little tough on the eyes, a little too bright. Nice sun rays in the clouds there. A little rough, though. What about if we... Yeah, just a little too bright. I'll see you guys on the other side. Well, hello. We are jumping way, way ahead. We did finish planting and rolling all before sunset. It was pretty awesome. I'll show some numbers of that soon, but we are just finishing the 4 headlands here. This is headland 3. We have another combine way in the dark there doing the other one. We did start at midnight, right when we could. Wanted to get going because we were absolutely running out of feed. I think I did something wrong with my 250 calculation. So we're hoping for well above 1 million liters in this harvest. So we're going to have to take a look at the analytics from Precision Farming to validate that, because I did have to put some in the chicken fattenings already to make sure them chickens are taken care of. So we're finishing this headland. I did want to get them completely empty before they start their lands here. And then we're going to take a look at some numbers, because something exciting is going to happen probably during this first harvest here in August. That's why we started in the dark. I'm hoping it's daytime by the time it happens, but we'll see. First, let's take a look at these fields. We can kind of do some math. 2,700 fertilizer on this field. And it didn't show any lime, which is interesting. Oh, because we did it in January. 2,000 here. It must have reset after that. 2,000 here and 2,000 here. So a little over 10,000. Seed rate you can see throughout there. Soil type's looking good, but still have a little bit of that pH issue with that first mess up we did. But nitrogen looking solid. Environmental score a little lower. Hopefully before we sell things that gets a little high. You can see what we've accomplished so far here. That's actually probably the best way to look at it. See, this harvester is waiting. This one's starting its lands right here. Not too bad. But the exciting thing is taking a look at our net worth right now is at $9.6 million. So as we start seeing this sorghum number increase and this dollar amount here go up, we're going to hit that 10 million probably during this harvest. But looking at the chicken coops, we do need to get a little bit more feed over there. This one's probably okay for the day. That one's good. This one's the one at question here. So we'll keep plugging away, and I will be frequently checking that net worth so we can hit the the number live, hopefully, as much as we can. Super interested to see what our net worth does after this drop here. 20,000 more liters of sorghum. But while we wait for that, you can see the harvest is going real good. This is probably a good view of what's left. On our timer, we got 5 minutes on this guy and 10 on the other one, but it's really, you know, about the same. Looking good over here. They are done. Let's take a look. Let's make sure it saves. 9.8 million, guys. We're getting there. And so far, 509,000 liters. So we just have 500 or 481 or 491,000 to go. Hopefully we get that in this field. And what's left, I think will be good because another 40,000 going in right now. And then, you know, all types of liters out there just chilling in the harvesters. So I think we're going to get, well, the rain's going to get here in 28 minutes. So I was hoping we got to that $1 million mark or $10 million mark before that, but I don't think we're gonna. But I'll keep you posted. This early morning plan seems to be working pretty good. We are just minutes away from rain hitting here. And just finishing up with the first combine, we just have one more pass to do after the current one they're on, and the second combine will be done. Pretty solid harvest. We knew it was gonna be. Pretty familiar with this field, being our 8th year harvesting it at this point. But that should complete the first one. So we'll drop off the goods here. We'll get things moving. We're super close to that 10 million, guys. Less than 100,000 to go. Exciting. We got to get that over to the other field and get started right after the rainstorm. Well, maybe it's 9 o'clock. Maybe we do have another hour and we are going to finish this in time. I'll take a nice breakfast break for the workers here before we figure out if we did successfully have a 1 million liter harvest. We are cruising over to get this second harvest started, and we can see an hour and 24 minutes is left right now. And that's pretty good. So it's about the same, if not a little bit. I think it's a very similar harvest. So I think we'll be good for the 1 million, but we'll find out. Yield will matter. You know, over here we did get 560, almost 561. So we do need 440 from this field to hit our goal. Go ahead and let them get started here. Once they figure out their life. And this one's already full once. Man, the lag is bad. All right, second one is started and the first one's getting unloaded. We are just moments away. The next load in the semis is gonna do it, is gonna get us to the $10 million mark. We're actually gonna try to drop this off and see if it's enough. All right, let's try the trick. Let's try the trick. Perfect. Get it unloaded and then we will check the net worth amount. All right, moment of truth. 9986. Okay. One more load. We got this, guys. We got it. In year 8. Can we get this? Okay. This is awesome. Come on. Come on. That's insane. Okay. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Man, the headlands are painful in these big, huge harvests here. Basically having to do all this myself because look at the angle they took here. That's kind of interesting. We had to skip the rain. It is 1 o'clock now, almost 2. We are just about to fill up the semi for the first time on this harvest. I think that, geez, that thing's already full already. The yield is great. I'm not sure where the 380 is right now. It should be trying to deliver good, so we might have to help it. I did kind of reconfigure all this stuff, but not completely. Let's actually help out the one that's stopped right now, and then we'll figure out why things aren't getting unloaded. Get another 10,000 in here, and then we'll be able to take it in, and that should trigger the semis to go, and we should see our fun $10 million amount here soon. Semis are facing the wrong way. I think that's the problem. I don't know how that even happened. All right, this should fill this semi up, and actually we're gonna ride along with it on our way in to be a 10 millionaire. Is that a thing? 10 millionaire? Up on it. Moment of truth time, guys. Almost moment of truth time. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's not really a moment of truth, but we're getting there. This is why it takes so long right here. I haven't watched this in a while. This is crazy. It It's because the turn's straight. So there's a lot of time that we could save if I could snag this real quick there. Next time around, they should use that better turn. Oh, and then they have to loop. Oh, that's a mistake too. There we go. Now that we're almost done. Delay, delay, delay. All right, dropping off some goods here. We're gonna let it finish, then we're gonna save the game. Then we're gonna look at our net worth. All right, time to save. Game saved. We are at $10,075,000. So this is where the call to action comes to you guys. If we can get 500 likes between when this video goes live and Sunday afternoon when I plan on recording again. So this is gonna go live on a Thursday. Sunday afternoon's when I'm gonna record again. It'll either be this series or Cattle Ranch, depending on how many likes we get. If we get 500 likes, we will finish the 10 years. If not, seeing if we get 1 million liters in this harvest will be the conclusion. Let's get it done. You know, I didn't mean to skip the entire harvest. I had some complications pop up, but it's over. It is over, and just kind of feeling like we're playing Game 7 of the World Series, even though we wanted the World Series in 6 games, if that analogy makes any sense to you guys. So looking at the statistics here, it looks like this is field number 25. We got 164,354 liters. Field 27, we got 147,464 liters. Field 26, we got 158,080 liters. And field 24, we got 156,353 liters for a grand total of 626,252. Then when we come in here and we add in the 560,906 from field number 20, our grand total is 1.187 million. As we're watching our semi slowly pull in to drop off the last couple loads here, we had a 1 million liter harvest in, well, 2 days, 2 months really, but 1 season. I'd call it a success. Make the turn, get it dropped, and we'll take a look at our final net worth numbers. Before we do that, we are 68 hours and 29 minutes into this playthrough. Insane stuff. 868,000 liters of fertilizer, 11,000 liters of seed, 19,000 liters of fuel were used. Too bad lime doesn't show up on here. And like these worked numbers per session in total, we worked 2,000, almost 2,400 hectares. Oh, those are acres. Craziness. All right, the last 15,000 getting deposited right now. And that'll give us our final net worth number. And looking at the net worth mod, we are at $10,857,000. Feel like it's a success, guys. 500 likes. We'll do more. I don't know when I'll do it because, like I said, I feel like we're playing Game 7 of a World Series that we clinched in 6. It was a success. I got a lot of information I've learned. Be able to make these challenges a little bit tougher, and we won't go as big. I'm a little burnt out. I'm a little burnt out from the big fields. We did this pretty quick. 8 years, $10 million. I'm Socks Way Up. I'll catch you on the next one.